My name is Dr. Muthoni Masinde. I work at the Central University of Technology here in Free State. Currently I work as a senior lecturer as well as the head of IT department. I got my PhD in 2012 from the University of Cape Town in computer science. During that time I passionately developed a solution that can predict droughts. The uniqueness of this solution is that we use rich computer science technologies such as artificial intelligence, wireless sensor networks, and mobile phones in combination with indigenous knowledge to predict drought in an accurate manner, specifically for Africa. With the kind of solution I've developed, it's possible to predict drought as accurate as 98%. And since it incorporates the knowledge of our people, they identify with it. Especially if you look at most small-scale farmers, the people in charge of the farms are actually women.
Nini ngina wa Muthoni Masinde aciariritwe tura ria Rugogwe. Muthoni athomere primary Rugogwe, ambiririe wanu, akivituka akithia akithomera Kangaru Secondary, akivituka akithomera Nairobi University. Muthoni akurite na thina muno ya mai, kuthi gutaba mai muvurori wa uya na inya. Mai makathiraga muvurori, makathi gucaria manji kurasa muno, kundu magendaga inya igakua, makenuka matari mai, makararaga matarite nundu wa mathina ma mai. Kwina thina muno guku. Kimera kithiru kwaurire kabura kanini, andu matiana gwata maciaro mega, koguo mathiete na mbere na kuthina ni irio cia kuria. Uyu ni muvuro wa uya uria Muthoni matabaga manji, mekurukaga na muvuro magicaragia varia vari kamuthanga manginja mai macenge, nundu mathiga nimo mengi muvuro uyu. Ninirakena muno nundu wa murandi uciambiriritie wa gutethia Mbeere. Mbeere wa tene aina thina muno wa mai wana wa kurima. Murandi ucio no gutethia Mbeere wa riu akorwe ari na umenyo wa kuvaragiriria mbura tene nundu wa urathi wa mbura, kuvaririria riria ikura akavandaga tene, na niguo akande kugwata maciaro mega ma urimi.
My name is Eliond Kithumbu Kanyi Maringa. I've been a head teacher at this school, Rugogwe Primary School. Professor Muthoni Masinde. She schooled here at Rugogwe Primary School in the mid-80s. Professor Muthoni Masinde used to do very well at Rugogwe Primary School. She was one of the best performing pupils, and that is why she was able to proceed to prestigious secondary school and made it to university. Something that I know very well about Professor is that she's quite active, she's very serious in her everything, and I know that is why she has reached great heights. Basically, I would say that though she schooled here, she has been supporting the school in one way or the other, especially when you have alumni. She has been supporting in one way or the other. And still you have challenges in the school. And the biggest challenge in this village and in this school is water. Water has been a big challenge since the time we were young. And we've been trying to strive to get water. We use the donkeys to get water from a distant place. And now the school values its alumni, and we're always asking them to support us. And if Professor supports us, we shall be very grateful.
My name is Alpita Njiro Ngoshi. I'm currently the project manager of the project ITIKI, which stands for Information Technology and Indigenous Knowledge with Intelligence. ITIKI was a wooden bridge used by our community to cross rivers. But this ITIKI is now a bridge to connect the indigenous knowledge and the scientific. Currently, I'm working with 10 ambassadors, but 7 of them are the most active. And the work of these ambassadors is to collect information from their villages. We base our indicators on the following: 1, human behavior; 2, animals; 3, birds; 4, insects; 5, trees; and also astronomical. When I say astronomical, I mean things like the moon. We look at the shape of the moon, the size of the moon, and also we look at other beliefs like in our community we have some people who don't take water, old men, and if they take water it rains. And according to the community, we have 2 seasons. One of the seasons is the long rains and we have the short rains. In the long rains they call it Mbeere ya Mbeere, and the short rain, the long rain, they call it Mbeere ya Mbeere. So among these 2 seasons, each and every season has its indicators. We have indicators for the long rains and we have indicators for the short rains. Due to this fact that we have started a project, we have the county government that have developed also interest with the indigenous knowledge, and they have put me on board during their presentations when they are preparing advisories for the farmers. They call this activity as a PSP workshop. PSP stands for Participatory Scenario Planning, where I'm involved. I go to do a presentation on the indigenous knowledge as the meteorological department do their presentation on the scientific. So we integrate this knowledge together and then we forecast for the community. That is what we normally do. And in fact, currently, as we speak now, the indigenous knowledge has been embraced more than the scientific by the community, because whatever we forecast comes true. Like this season, we had forecasted the rains to be, when we were doing the forecast on 15th, we said it's between 1 to 1.5 weeks, and this is what happened. So already now we have the onset of the rains. The benefits that the Mbeere community has benefited from this project is that they get the information of the rains before the onset of the rains, and this helps them to prepare their land early enough so that they increase their produce. The other benefit is that there is information to all people in the community, because initially the meteorological department, the language that is used, the scientific language, most of the locals cannot understand it. So during our forecast, we use the local language which is understood by each and every farmer, and this one is the best benefit that I can mention. As far as the challenges are concerned, one of the challenges is that most of the community members, because of the economic incomes, they are cutting the trees that we use to indicate the rains. So most of the indicators have been tampered with. Some of the trees like acacia mellifera and totiris, these are the trees that produce very good charcoal. So the farmer is cutting these trees to make charcoal. Due to this destruction of the forests, the rains are reduced, and the indicators that we normally use are nowhere to be found. The other challenge is that in Mbeere, the other economic income, the source of economic income is Mbeere production. That is, so when we have people who are irrigating Mbeere, and when people irrigate Mbeere, they also irrigate the indicators. And when they irrigate the indicators, sometimes you find the trees behaving in a manner as if the rains are about to come. So the indicators are also tampered with by people irrigating the trees that we use to help us during our forecast. And now I take you to the field to see some of the indicators that we use to predict the rains. And as I said earlier, we look at trees as major indicator of the rains. We look at animals behavior, we look at insects, birds, and etc. So let's go to the field and you see some of these indicators. There are very many, but I'll only be able to show you a few of them. Have a look at this. Among the indicators that we observe, one is trees, and next to me is a tree by the name Acacia totiris. This one we use it to indicate when the rains are near, we have the tree flowering. And most of the time it flowers before the onset of the rains. Like now it had flowered before the onset of these rains. So basically we have several trees that we look at, and this is one of them which we have identified, and we believe that whenever it flowers, the rains are very near, 1 to 2 weeks to the onset. This is another tree that we use to know whether the rains are near, and this tree, we call it in the local language Muthigira. Muthigira, in the botanical name for Muthigira is Acacia mellifera, and we see the flowering. When it starts flowering, that is the local farmer knows that the rains are near, maybe one week to 2 weeks next to the onset. So immediately the tree flowers, the farmers start preparing their land, expecting the rains anytime. This is another plant that the Mbeere community used to monitor so that they can forecast rain, and the local name of this one is called Kariaria or Makega, which they normally looked at the flowering stage. If this plant had flowered, the Mbeere person now knew that the rains are near, so they started preparing their land for planting. And it is all over in the Mbeere region. So most of the people, the farmers, used to monitor this plant so that they know about rains. This is one of the major indicators that the community used to know when the rains are about to rain. And this one is used during the short rains, that is the OND rains, October, November, December rains. And we monitor what it does, especially when the rains are near. It sheds all the leaves, and then it starts budding. When it starts budding, we know now the rains are about to rain, and it takes 2 weeks for the onset of the rains when we see that behavior of this tree. The local name of this tree is Mombo. It is in the family of the fig tree. This is another indigenous plant that the community use to tell when the rains are about to start. And the local name of this plant is called Madhori. Madhori is many, but when it is one, it's called Edhori. And they look at the flowering stage. And when it flowers, it starts bursting. And when they start bursting the seeds, the community now knows that the rains are almost 1 to 2 weeks onset, and thus they start preparing land for planting.
That sound you just heard is beautiful. It's frogs that are very happy. There's so much water around them. There are birds singing on the trees because it's food coming their way. It turns out that small-scale farmers also love nature. They have used this over years to determine when to plant, how to plant, and even how to plant. And this way they have been able to cushion themselves from hunger. They look at things like this behavior of animals, those that keep cattle. When they see animals coming home, jumping with their tails eye up, they know it's time to plant. Those that grow mango trees, and they observe that the mango tree that normally produces small mangoes has lots of fruits, they know, this is a bad harvest for us. On the other side, if they see the mangoes with bigger variety of mangoes, the ones that are producing more mangoes, then they know this is going to be good for us. They also do look at the skies. They look at the clouds. They look at the position of the moon. Like I know down in Zulu, they know that if the moon is dirty, it means there's a lot of rain coming. And this is across the world, be it Australia, Asia, Africa, Latin America. Small-scale farmers have used this knowledge. We call it indigenous knowledge. If you read books, they also call it technical knowledge, local knowledge, doesn't matter. But this is knowledge that is passed on from generation to generation. It's not written. My mother told me about it. Then my grandmother told my mother about it. And we passed it on over generations. And one of the things that struck me, I grew up in a typical Kenyan village. And I would listen to my grandmother. I remember when going with my sister to fetch firewood, and we'd hear this particular bird making some noise. The local people have a way of making it sound like their own local language. Like some place in Rakai district in Uganda, they even say the bird is saying, heaven come down. And somehow when you sing, it makes sense. So my sister and I, when we hear that bird, we would have to run home because precisely after that bird, 3 hours, it would rain. It's so precise. But now there's a problem. This indigenous knowledge is disappearing because the young people have left the village. They don't want to be associated with it. Somebody somewhere has told them it's primitive, and it is not. Climate change has come, and though the farmers knew through seasons that every March, 20th of March, it would rain, it's not the same anymore. And they would know that sometime in July it would be very cold. Sometimes in winter, this doesn't look like winter anymore. So that knowledge is not reliable to the farmers. But what is the whole big story about rain and Africa? It's because the two are so intertwined that when it doesn't rain, there's no food for the farmers. They go hungry. And the tragedy is, statistics show that even now on your phone, if you just check how many people are dying of hunger in Africa, you'll get close to 30s of millions of people. The second problem is that in Africa, we rely a lot on small-scale farmers whose production is determined by that very rain. So if you take a trip from tip of Africa up to Cairo, and at some point you just branch off, you will encounter very many people that are going hungry. Then you ask me, where are the scientists? Why are they not helping us? They have developed models that work. But then these models have problems. The first one is the information they're giving to our local scale farmers. It's in a language they don't comprehend. They will tell them, just check today on South African weather or any meteorological organization website. They will tell you that there will be near normal rainfall or below normal or normal. For a farmer, that doesn't make sense. What farmers really want to know is, when is it going to rain anyway? How much is going to come? Should I plant millet or should I plant maize? And if we were to tell them that the coming rain season, though you're expecting it to rain, it will not. Then instead of using my $2,000 or 2,000 rand or my 100 Kenya shillings where I come from to plant, I preserve that. If I'm a cattle keeper and you tell me that the next 2 years it won't rain, I will sell those cows at fat price today, as opposed to waiting next year where they die. So, the second problem we have with meteorological weather information is that the weather stations that we are using are very expensive to acquire them and to maintain them. So what they normally have is a sparse kind of network. You must have wondered one day why you're getting an information saying there will be thunderstorm today. in Bloemfontein. But then I didn't see it. It's not because there's no thunderstorm. They are very accurate, but it's a bigger picture they're giving us. The local knowledge. They give you precise information about my village, about my mango tree, about my cow, so it's very accurate for them. So what do we do then? Indigenous knowledge is not working. Scientific weather is not working. That's why I come in. I'm a computer scientist. Those robotic things, artificial intelligence, they can solve our problem. So I came up with a bridge, and if I can just show it when the remote comes up. This was inspired by, again, my own experience. When I was growing up, we didn't have a normal bridge, you know, the one by civil engineers near our place. And we didn't have relatives on the other side of the river, huge river. So the local people used their own knowledge to build a bridge that's made of trees, some dry sticks, and tied with very strong thread, and anchored on the strongest tree along the river. So to be able to cross. As a small girl, of course, anytime I stepped on it, I would think I'm going to drop down there. But it's so strong that I still remember. It was in the early 90s. I'm not very young. It was massive. There were massive floods in our area. The civil engineered bridge, I'm not criticizing the engineers, it was swept away because nobody anticipated the floods. The indigenous bridge stood firm. Why? Because the people have lived there over the years. They know that this tree, even if it floods how much, will never be shaken. So that's how strong it is. It does not mean that the civil engineers were wrong, just that they didn't have the extra knowledge that the local people had. So then the concept of the bridge is this, that a bridge is a two-way traffic. I can go, you can come. As opposed to where institutional scientists are picking indigenous knowledge to enhance their own things. We would like to share. Our scientific knowledge is very powerful. Our indigenous knowledge is very powerful. Bring it together, we get the best of the two worlds. And that's how my bridge was conceptualized. So I've used my sticks, are very strong computer science tools. First, I said that the weather stations are expensive. So we're able to acquire now weather stations that are 10 times cheaper. Using wireless sensors, using our phones. Everything's becoming a sensor. So already we've brought the cost very low. Secondly, we're using artificial intelligence, specifically artificial neural networks, fuzzy logic, so that we're able to predict using models just like any other meteorology person can do, and predict up to 4 years. And the fuzzy logic enables us not to dilute the holistic indigenous knowledge. So at the end of the day, we have a solution that works better than any solution I've come across. For it, I got a PhD. For it, I've gotten a number of awards. And it's so accurate that we're able to predict up to 4 years with an accuracy of 70%, and the shorter one, up to 18 months, 98%. That's a huge solution for us because now it means that the number of people, like last year that 6 million people were going hungry in Africa. If we gave that information that is 98% correct, the farmers would have known that this particular part of the world won't be so dry. They would have moved elsewhere and saved their lives. They would have known that if I plant maize, I will not harvest anything. They would have known that instead of keeping my cows until they are sowing my shit, then I would have sold them and made money out of it. Because statistics also show us that out of 10 countries where the level of hunger has gone up over the last 3 decades, 9 of them are in Africa. And if you check today and you're able to count how many droughts are happening in the world, 1 out of 2 are in Africa. So the problem is serious. And the bridge I'm talking about works as follows. We use the weather stations to collect the meteorological parameters. It's one I'm holding there. It's really little. You can have as many as 100 in a small area. And then we use the wireless communication to transmit that data to wherever we are. Then we're able to predict. We use mobile phones. We give the farmers mobile phones. They're able to collect their data about what they're observing. We collect that data and put it in the system. And then once we predict, we disseminate the information again using the mobile application. And using computer science tools, we are able to translate into their local language. Now they are happy. Now they're able to know when to plant. We've been using it for the last 4 years. We roll here in South Africa, two places. We are now able to roll it out into Mozambique, and of course, where I originally came from, in Kenya. And what am I trying to say here today is that our local knowledge, indigenous knowledge, whatever name you want to call it, is so rich. It's authentic. Once somebody told me, you know what, somebody is doing a project somewhere in Uganda. I thought, no. That's my story. It's my bridge. No one can infringe on it because only you can tell our story. And whatever local knowledge we have, be it entrepreneurship, there's indigenous entrepreneurship, there's indigenous clothes, there's indigenous everything. What's unique about it is that it's ours. And no one can tell your story better than you can tell it. I'm using this to tell my own story because through it, I'm able to reclaim. Because many people write about African drought and why Africans are going hungry. No one knows it better than us. So through that, I'm able to retell that story and rewrite my story. And through this, I've become so confident about telling my story that last year I got an award for Distinguished Women Scientists. I'm like, oh, okay, that's something. And the first time when I started, I wasn't 100% sure. I was approached by the International Telecommunication Union, and this whole idea is an innovation recognized worldwide. Let's tell our stories so that no one will misrepresent us. I thank you.
Among the ambassadors that I do work with, I have some of them here. They are going to say something about the area that they work. So let me have one of them to come and talk on the behalf of the others.
Betagwa Faustin Kithaka Evara kuma Kamurugo village thĩinĩ wa Kombo Munyere sublocation. Nĩ ũmwe ũrutaga wĩra wa ũrathi wa mbura na pamwe na ITIKI na matũra marĩa ngoretwo ngĩruta wĩra nĩ Machang'a, Kamurugo na Muvingi, na andũ nĩ metĩkĩrie wĩra ũcio makĩona ũrĩ mwega wa kũmamenyithia tondũ kĩmera gĩa kũvĩvĩrĩria nĩwĩthagĩra nĩ matũragia ũrathi rĩu ũrauga atĩa. Tũkamera kana ngamera ũrathi nĩwambĩrĩrĩtie tondũ wathũthĩrĩria tarĩngĩ na kũu matũra-rĩ mau kũrĩ mũtĩ wĩtagwo mũgaa na mũthigira, na mũgaa nĩguo wambagĩrĩria mbere kũruta mahũa o kĩthingatwa nĩ mũthigira. Rĩrĩa mũthigira wetĩka nĩrĩo wonaga narĩo mbura ndariri ciacio kana cionereria cia mbura nĩ ciambĩrĩria gũka, na ũhoro ũcio nĩ ũteithagia arĩmi mũno na nĩguo mambagĩrĩria kũthondeka mĩgũnda yao.
Mbĩtagwa Faith Wanjiru kuma itũra rĩa Rũgogwe. Ngoragwa nĩ mũrũmĩrĩri wa ITIKI. ITIKI ĩkoragwa ĩkiuga nĩ ũrathi wa mbura na njĩra ya kĩũndũire. Wa Mbeere katika Rũgogwe ngoragwa na matũra mathatũ marandutagĩra wĩra: Rũgogwe, Kamũtwanjirũ na Katutori. ITIKI yanarĩte na ũrathi wayo wa mbura nĩ ngendaga matũra mau marĩ mathatũ ngina matarĩria ũrĩa mabatiĩ nĩ kweterera mbura, ũrĩa mabatiĩ nĩ kũmĩvarĩrĩria, na manarĩkia mbura nä yåkaga ikaura rĩngĩ ikiura kũringana na ũrĩa nĩramatarĩrĩtie yana rĩkia na kura ũkĩthĩrĩria nĩ kumagĩrĩra mathĩna mavandĩte.
Mbĩtagwo Francis Kithumbu wa Gititi na gũkũ gwetũ rĩu tũrĩ rĩu nĩ Mbeere South nĩkuo njiarĩrĩtwe. Mbeere wa tene kũrĩ maũndũ marĩa amenyaga mbura ĩ hakuhĩ kura, no atũmagĩra mĩtĩ, no atũmagĩra nyamũ. Ta rĩu mbura ĩgerie kura, nyamũ ciĩtagwo ng'ombe nĩ ciarũgarũgaga, na ũngĩona mũthenya ũcio ng'ombe igũtũrũva, mũthenya ũcio ũronania no nginya mbura yure. Mĩtĩ ta rĩu kũrĩ mũtĩ ũyũ ava vakuvi ũyũ wĩtagwo mũrava, wona wamba ũgĩtĩka wetĩkaga ũkiuma mathangũ macio wauma mathangũ macio makira makĩaga green, mbura nĩ yonania nĩ ĩgere kura. Kũrĩ mũmbũ ta ũrĩa ũrĩ varĩa twauma varĩa, ũrĩa ũrĩ varĩa, wona wetĩka ũgĩcioka mathangũ macio makiuma, mathangũ macio maira makwa mbura yauraga. Kũrĩ mĩtĩ mĩingĩ ta rĩu kũrĩ mũtĩ wĩtagwo mũtirũ. Mũtirũ ũngĩona waciara ndirũ, ũciaraga ndirũ. Ndirũ icio cierua, kavinda kau wona ndirũ cierua, mbura nayo nĩrĩo yuraga. Kwarĩ riũa vandũ rĩakinyaga kĩrĩma kĩrĩa gĩtagwo gĩa Mbeere, wona riũa rĩavĩtũka kĩrĩma kĩu gĩa Mbeere gĩkiuma, andũ nĩmamenyaga mbura ĩ vakuvi. Kũrĩ ciĩndũ ciĩngĩ ta mweri. Mweri ũngĩkona rĩu mweri woneka ũrĩ na kĩthiũrũrũ, ũthiũrũrũkĩrĩtwe nĩ kĩthiũrũrũ kĩnene gĩtagwo na Kĩmbeere gĩtĩri, kũu nĩ kuonania kũrĩ na maketha.
To make the work easier for the ambassadors, we have provided them with the tablets, and in the tablets we have installed the ODK app, which they use to send the indicators with. They take photographs and then send to us. ITIKI
Ũrathi wa mbura na njĩra ya kĩndũire.
ITIKI
Ũrathi wa mbura na njĩra cia kĩndũire.